It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Buffalo Beauts NWHL hockey player Taylor Wasylk. How are you doing today?
Great, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to play professional hockey?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a goal for every kid growing up playing whatever sport they're playing. For me, it was just kind of a timing thing. It's not something I necessarily planned out. I got into coaching right out of college, and that was my focus, something I'm super passionate about. So the playing part kind of just, it lined up perfectly where I was able to play in the CWHL for a year when I was recruiting for my team here at Suffolk, and then joining the NWHL with the Beauts was kind of just a little bit last minute, if you will. I signed on right before the bubble started last year, and then recently signed on for next season. So super excited.
Can you talk about, of course, your college time at Boston College and what you achieved there?
Yeah, I had a great 4 years at BC. I was super, super lucky to be our teams were so good the few years that we were there. I was so lucky to be a part of that. And, the success of making NCAA tournaments and winning Bean Pots and the Hockey East Championship. We won a couple times, one time maybe actually, don't quote me on that. But, super lucky to be surrounded by some really good players, a couple of whom have gone on to play in the Olympics, who have been in 2 Olympics. Who play abroad, who play professionally, kind of all that stuff. So I loved it. I long for the days of being at Conti. Life was just easier then. Not a care in the world when you're a college kid. You make mistakes all the time, and it's totally fine. It doesn't affect anyone but yourself. So now being a coach and being on the other side of it, you certainly miss those college days when everything was pretty chill.
What was it like to put on the BC jersey for the first time?
It was awesome. I still remember that day. We were on the road at Colgate, I believe. My grandparents drove up from Michigan to watch the game. I got super lucky and got a goal in the first game. But I still remember, being that 18-year-old freshman, getting my phone out, taking a picture of my stall before the game. It was super, super special then. And then the first home game at BC, just walking into our locker room and having it all set up, you feel like you're in the NHL. So it's pretty special feeling, not something that I'll forget anytime soon.
Can you talk about, of course, the 2012 season when you were playing in the Women's World Cup?
Yeah, so 2012, that was my sophomore season. At the end of the year, I got invited last minute to try out for the World's team. Again, the timing was just super perfect. I got so lucky. I actually didn't make the initial tryout camp. I think someone got injured or couldn't attend. So I ended up making the team, and Worlds were in Burlington, Vermont that year. So it was super cool. Some of my friends from BC drove up to watch us. Some of my family from Michigan were able to make the trip out. It was awesome. The first time making that big team is something special. I had been on the U18 team a few years before, but the first time making that big team was something special. I remember that first game we played Canada, and we ended up, it was crazy. We won 9-2 or something. But I remember during warm-ups, I had never been so nervous during warm-ups. There was so many people in the Gutterson field house, during warm-ups, and I was missing passes left and right. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never played in front of this many people before. So it was an awesome experience for sure.
What was that feeling like when you got the call that you got drafted to the CWHL, to the Boston Blades?
That was super interesting too, super special. The GM at the time was Jess Martino, someone I played with at BC, and then there was a handful, I think like 6 BC girls were on the team. So, it wasn't a huge transition in a sense that I felt like I was just walking in the locker room at BC again. All my friends were there. Some of my closest friends like Drew and Kate were there, Melissa Bazzari, like there was a ton of us on that team. So Erin Kickham was there too, Christina Brown, like I could go on and on, like there was like 8 of us. So, it was super special, super fun season. We weren't the best team in the league by any means, but we had so much fun. We worked so hard. That was a super interesting team to be a part of. So, an experience I'd never really had before.
What was that season like of the 2017-18 season with the Boston Blades?
17-18 with the Boston Blades. So same season, just adjusting to playing pro for the first time. I never done it. Had a lot of former teammates around me, a lot of friends, a lot of people I had played against in college, or even a few people I coached against in the coaching ranks at D3. The season was super fun. I wasn't able to commit as much as I would have. I was building my team here at Suffolk that 2017-2018 year. I spent the whole year on the road recruiting for my team here at Suffolk. So I only played in I think 6-7 games, something like that. But it was super fun when I was there. Super energetic, super fun group to be a part of and kind of dive into the pro sports world with.
What was that feeling like when you put on your first professional jersey with the Boston Blades?
Oh boy. I don't necessarily remember that one all that much. It's all kind of a blur. That season happened so quick. And again, I joined the team last minute. I wasn't planning on playing. I didn't think I would have the time. And then it kind of just the timing lined up and they asked and I said, sure. Same thing though, super special. Like I said at the beginning, like that's the goal for everybody, whether we acknowledge it as a kid or not, like that's the goal. Everyone wants to play pro and go to the NHL, and for us to make CWHL and NWHL or PWHPA, whatever it is, that's attaining that goal for us. So super special moment, obviously the first game, and then super special season to be a part of all around.
What was the feeling like when you got to the NWHL with the Boston Pride?
Same thing, super special. Surrounded by friends. I actually, 2 of my roommates, I played on the team with them that first year. A couple of my best friends from BC, like Haley Skarupa, Dana Trevino, were on that team. That was super fun. Just going to practice every day and playing hockey with your friends. That's kind of what it's all about. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, wins, losses, trophies, that sort of thing. It's, the experience of being there and doing what you love with your friends. So it was super awesome year to be a part of.
What did you accomplish at Boston Pride, and what was it like to put on the gold jersey?
What did I accomplish individually? I didn't play in many games the year that I was with the Pride. I got called up last season just to play in a few games with them, and it was just I wanted to be there, wanted to help out, wanted to be a sort of utility player that could just help them get through the few weekends that they needed me for. But always a special experience to play in the NWHL.
How did it feel for you to sign your professional contract to play hockey?
Same thing, same thing. Super special, super exciting. I think my grandma makes a bigger deal out of these things than I do, but it's cool for me. It's cool for the kids on my team here at Suffolk, for me to do that, for them to see that. I think they really like that aspect of it. But always special signing a pro contract.
What was the transition like from going from Boston Pride to now where you are now with the Buffalo Beauts?
Good question. It's not that much different. There's great people, great coaches, great players on both teams. I think both instances, it was kind of last minute. Again, I think that's how I roll in the pro world. It was kind of last minute, just kind of stepping into an already established team. But, in both instances, I was treated great by the coaches, by the other players. The respect factor was there. I had some people I knew on each team, which certainly helped with the Pride. I had a few former BC teammates. With the Beauts, Coach Rhea, I coached her actually years ago when I was working at Suny-Canton. I was a coach, she was a player. So it was kind of funny to see how the the tides had turned a little bit on us there, but the transitions were very similar, very smooth. They went off without a hitch for the most part. I was super lucky.
How did it feel to have your name on the back of the Buffalo Beauts jersey?
Good. It was awesome. It was I'd never envisioned myself playing in Buffalo, so to get called and kind of make the trip to the bubble, head up to Lake Placid with the team was awesome. The crowd was a little quiet there in Lake Placid. We didn't have any fans, but we had a million people watching on Twitch, a bunch of my friends and family and players from Suffolk, and so that first game was pretty awesome feeling.
Can you talk about, of course, playing in Lake Placid and what that was like this past year?
Yeah, it was awesome. It's not something that I anticipated being a part of. I wasn't part of the NWHL last year. So just athlete wise, it wasn't something I was training for. So it was a little bit of a shock to my body, if you will, getting up there and I was skating twice a day, having pregame skate or practice and games and stuff like that. It was a quick turnaround. When Coach Rhea called me, I was actually in Florida recruiting for my team here. So it wasn't something I was planning on, something that was, I was preparing for, if you will. I still had a lot of fun. I think I was able to make somewhat of an impact on the team. Definitely not at my best. Like I said, not something I was planning on attending until a few days prior, but no, made the most of it, had a blast. Everyone on the team, the coaches, all the way up to Nate, the GM, like everyone was super welcoming, super accommodating. They made it very, very easy for me.
What are some of your game day rituals that you have?
This is weird, but I have none. I kind of go with the flow. I don't do anything weird. I like to just chill before the game. Like if my stick needs to be taped, I'll tape it. If it doesn't need to be taped, I don't touch it. I don't get dressed a certain way. I don't listen to any special song or anything like that. I kind of just chill, sit in the stands. I usually snack on Starburst and Goldfish. That's something I learned at BC. You got to have pregame snacks. But yeah, no rituals, nothing crazy. I kind of just go with the flow and get dressed when I'm ready to, and kind of cruise out there on my own speed.
What are some of your accomplishments while playing in the NWHL?
Uh, Stay tuned. We'll see this year, right? I think my time has been pretty limited just because, I am loyal to my coaching career and I love my team at Suffolk, and, they kind of take most of my time and availability and headspace, but, I haven't really had a consistent attendance, if you will, at games and throughout the season. So I'm looking forward to kind of making a little bit of a bigger impact this season.
Speaking about that, can you talk about, of course, your coaching career and how that has impacted your professional game and helped your professional game?
Yeah, my coaching career, I love it. It's awesome. I absolutely love coaching these kids. I love where I'm at. Suffolk is downtown Boston, and I am still young enough to love the city life. So I absolutely love it here. The coaching side of it, I never anticipated being interested in it. When I was in school, I wanted to run for president and do all this crazy stuff, but getting into it has been awesome. It's what I'm passionate about. It's what I excel at for the most part. I love recruiting. I love game days. I'm a complete nutcase on the bench some days because I'm so excited. I want to win so bad, and I want my kids to do so well. But it's been awesome. I've certainly made a lot of connections. Just like having Rhea as my coach for the Beauts is something crazy. Like I coached her, and now she's coaching me professionally. So, the connections, the things you learn that you can translate to your game as from a coach to a player, it's all been very beneficial.
Of course, how do you balance, of course, being a coach and also a professional player?
I'm gonna find that out this year. We'll see. I'm gonna make it to Buffalo as often as I can. It's not gonna be every weekend, unfortunately, because my team has games. But just kind of got to stay on top of things, take advantage of my free time, be as efficient as possible with my schedule and my calendar and my commitments, kind of stuff like that. So that is a question I will answer for you in a few months here once I kind of dive into it.
Who are some players that you looked up to in the NWHL and in hockey in general?
That is a great question. Kind of everybody just, having the drive after graduation to keep playing, to keep pushing. And I know, there's multiple leagues in North America and people can go to Europe and play and people get centralized and people don't. And, just all the players that have the drive to kind of keep playing. And for some it's super serious and it's their life and it's what they want to do and how they want to spend their free time. And for other players it's fun and it's they love the sport and they want to keep their normal job but keep playing on the side. And I respect the hell out of both of them. It's not an easy thing to do. Kind of has success in this professional world, in your job over here and as an athlete over here. It's not easy to do. But everybody in the league, everyone in all the leagues kind of finds a way to do it, which is pretty cool.
Of course, looking into this upcoming season, what are you going to look forward to when you get to play with players like Taylor or Hunter or Kersey?
Yeah, I played with Hunter in the bubble. We were line mates for a game or two. I haven't played with Taylor yet, but super excited for it. I love playing with new people, learning new things from them. I think that's a coach in me. I'm always watching people and trying to figure out, what they're doing and can I do it or can I do it and tweak it my way and do it a little bit better, or, whatever it is, how can I learn from them? So, I love meeting new people. I love meeting new players and new coaches. So just excited to kind of expand my horizons, if you will, a little bit and learn from, all the new players on the Beauts this year.
How is it going to feel this upcoming season when fans are back in stadiums cheering?
Oh, it's going to be great. So my first game with the Pride 2 years ago was actually at Buffalo. And I was on the other team. So I'm excited to now be on Buffalo and be playing at the rink in front of all our hometown fans. It'll be pretty cool.
What advice would you give college hockey players looking to play college hockey?
Looking to play pro hockey?
Yes.
Yeah. Never say never. We at Suffolk here, we had a player who was here her senior year, and then she signed with the Connecticut Whale afterwards, and she only played in a few games with them, but anyone can do it. It's not really about where you played college. It doesn't matter if you played at the best school or the worst school, D1, D3. If you're the right player, if you have what the pro teams are looking for, you can make it work. So definitely just the work ethic piece of it. Don't be afraid to reach out, get your name out there, whether it's going to Europe or NWHL, wherever you want to play. There's kind of always routes and channels to get where you want to go. You kind of just have to figure out which one's the best for you.
What advice would you give current and future professional players playing now?
Good question. I guess just to enjoy it. It's something I tell myself, every time I get on the ice for the NWHL, I'm like, this could be my last game. I have no clue. I always kind of think I'm done and then end up back in it. But, the same advice I tell myself is just enjoy it. You only get to stand on that blue line before the game and hear the anthem so many times. And then, you're watching other people do it forever. So it's pretty special that we get to do it still after graduation from college. So just kind of taking the small victories and enjoying every moment that we can.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
At Taylor, I am on Twitter, Instagram. I do not do TikTok yet. I refuse to. The girls on my team do it, so I refuse to get involved with that. But Instagram, social media, everything. I'm basically everywhere. Pretty easy to find. Yeah.
Thank you again, Taylor, for your interview, and best of luck in your future in this upcoming season with the Buffalo Beauts.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you so much. Super excited for it.
Thank you. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Taylor, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.